Kaboom! Kaboom!
Hey guys, it's PaleB, and I'm actually recording my own video for once. That's never happened before. So you guys have probably realized that I have not recorded a YouTube video in, I think it's been 3 months now. So the main thing was, my friend was editing the videos, and we were doing like stream highlights, and you saw the whole John taking over the stream thing. But after that, we kind of just fell off, and he hasn't really been editing. So in order to keep up with the channel, I am going to be trying to record my own videos from time to time. And I'm trying to record, so this will be my first time editing a video. And I hope it's not too terrible, and hopefully I don't go crazy with the effects. But overall, thank you guys for not giving up on the YouTube channel. I am going to try and upload more content now that I actually am trying to edit my own videos. And I hope that I can upload at least once a week, maybe, once I get used to like this whole editing and recording thing, because I'm still like nervous talking to myself. It's really weird. Hopefully in the editing I can do some stuff that will be helpful. But thank you guys for not giving up on the YouTube, and that is very helpful to me. And if you guys do want to subscribe, feel free to. It's free and it helps me out a lot. And I respond to pretty much every comment that I see on my videos, so if you have video suggestions, advice, just feel free to drop a comment, and any support will help me out a lot. And let's get into the video. So I'm going to be doing something that I haven't done on the channel at all. It's mainly been just TF2 content, but now I'm going to try doing Melee, a game I've kind of picked up in the last couple of months, started taking competitively, and if you're looking at the title of this video, you've probably seen that the game has had its first official tier list since 2015, which is huge for the game now. We've been able to see the changes in the meta and in every like character position change that there has been in these past few years, and we are long overdue for a tier list. So thank you very much. And no one cares, and I'm going to be talking in depth for every single character and trying to give my opinion for the placement of the characters and where I think they could change stuff or where they did good. So let's hop right into it. So feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I will talk to you guys. And please enjoy the video. So this right here is the official tier list on a site called PG Stats, and overall they've done a really good job. They've talked with 63 of the top 100 characters or players, and they also talked to Armada. That's really good, because Peach is, rest in peace Peach. That's big sad. But overall, I'm going to talk about each one, and honestly, I'm glad they did sub-tiers as well. And if this is not set in stone rules, this is just my opinion, and this is a tier list is not set in stone information. All the characters have some stuff they can do. This is just a matter of how much potential they have and how well they have done in the game. So this is my opinion. This is just me rambling about characters. This is not anything that you should take for factual, but I'm going to try and explain everything the best that I can. So to start, we're going to talk about Bowser. Bowser is a bit of an interesting character. I do agree that he is probably the worst character in Melee, just because of the fact that he's so slow, and there's nothing you can really do with him that will get you very far. In this here, this is a match from S2Day versus Warrior Knight, and you can see Bowser has some good stuff that he can do. He has a great attack from ledge. That's why you'll see a lot of Bowsers hang out around the ledges. And he is bulky, so he has some staying power, just not armor or anything that's going to be very helpful. And since he's so slow, all his moves are laggy, there's just really nothing that you can do to deal with these characters that have so much speed and agility and ways to counter you. But he does have an amazing attack from ledge. His grounded up B is probably one of the best get-off-me moves in the entire game. But since he's just so slow, there's just nothing that he can really do that will benefit you really at all. So Bowser, again, really slow, really not anything special, but has some stuff, and he has had some decent placements at locals, but I don't ever see him winning a major whatsoever. Next we have Kirby. Kirby actually was recently placed to be the worst character in Melee by a pretty large margin, but I have him going up a spot, which is helpful. But again, a character that I don't see winning any like major events whatsoever. He's just basically a downgrade from Puff. And I stand by that fact. Like, if you're main Kirby, just main Puff. Puff has better speed in the air, better moves, has a rest, which is basically an insta-kill. And Kirby doesn't really have a whole lot going for him, and he's just kind of a broken character, is a way to say it. He just doesn't have... like, he doesn't work in the game. He has some great tilts, and again, he is floaty, so he dies pretty early, which is not good for a character who already can't really dish out damage in the beginning. Like, right there, you can just get shined off the top really easily, and it's almost impossible to do anything about it. He has good tilts, can crouch under probably the best crouch in the game, but those are things that don't help you a whole lot. But overall, Kirby, if you want to play Kirby, just play Puff. Puff is better by a large margin. But Kirby has some stuff. So his throws don't work. But he's quick, he has good jabs, good tilts, little things that can get combos going. He just does lack finishing moves and ways to end stocks. Now, that was F tier, and those characters I really feel like you can't do pretty much anything, and I don't ever see winning a major tournament anytime. But D tier, these characters have done some stuff, but just I still don't think have a whole lot of potential. But we're going to start with Zelda. Now, Zelda is not really viable in the slightest, but she has some stuff, but again, is really floaty and doesn't have a whole lot that she can do to dish out and kill stock. She has an amazing forward and back air, and a fantastic recovery that Sheik sometimes just uses just to solely get back to the stage, which is pretty funny because that's pretty much her only use in a competitive scene, as she's really slow, really short wave dash, and overall just is, again, not really able to do a whole lot. But she does have finishing moves, which I think is her main way that she is in D tier, as she can hit really hard, but lacks ways to get characters up to those high percents. Now we have Ness. Ness is, how do I put this? Ness is, he's got some stuff, I will say. I mean, you've seen, like, just Hungrybox alone has shown that this character has some stuff. I think. I don't know. But overall, Ness is able to have really good back air. He has some great little chip moves that'll be able to get your opponent up to percentage. But there isn't a whole lot that Ness can do once he's pressured. he has a terrible recovery. Just, it's not even worse. It's probably even worse than Luigi's. It's not good. But you see people like Hungrybox who are able to utilize this character with some degree. He has a great forward air. It's huge hitbox and does a lot of damage. A really strong back air. And a meteor with his down air, which can be meteor cancelled. But again, I feel like his main flaw is his floatiness and his recovery. As even his jump is exploitable, as it's a giant curve. And you can just immediately attack and get him. And then he's lost his double jump. And his only other option is to up B, which is probably the most exploitable recovery in the entire game. Has a really strong back air. Has some crazy stuff that you can do. But overall, this character, while he is unique amongst the cast, he just has major flaws that don't allow him to do a whole lot. Now, Pichu. Pichu's interesting, and I'm surprised that Pichu is above Ness. But Pichu, probably one of the more underrated characters in the game, but again, one of those clones that I feel like don't really need to be used. Like, you have Pikachu, who's just so much better in pretty much every situation, and you don't really... And that self-damage mechanic is just ridiculous, and it's kind of sad that that is Pichu's main mechanic, and it doesn't help him at all. But he does have an amazing forward smash, ridiculous forward smash, and overall this character has a whole lot, but again, just use Pikachu. Now these next two characters are interesting as they have people who have pushed them up the tier list, but again, these are low tier characters, and I don't feel like they have a whole lot. But again, these two characters have support. Alright, and these characters are... And these characters are Roy and Mewtwo. Now these two characters have had support from top players like Zane and Leffen, who show that they have some potential. Mewtwo with his just uniqueness again, which gives him a lot of strength, but is really floaty, dies ridiculously early, and his tail is a massive hitbox that still can get hit, making him pretty vulnerable. Like, he has some crazy stuff. He's got a trick that can pull you through the stage, incredible edge guarding, and his up B is unique because he completely teleports out of he's pretty much invincible until he starts coming back down. And there's no other recovery really like that. I mean, Zelda kind of, but Mewtwo's is just strictly better. Mewtwo has some stuff, but other than Leffen, there's really... I can't name a top Mewtwo that I've ever heard of. But Roy, on the other hand, I feel like maybe Roy could even be better than Mewtwo. As we've seen Zane, Don't Test Me, just doing crazy stuff with the character. But again, is just a worse version of Marth. Marth is just strictly better. And Roy, his sword is basically a wet noodle. There's nothing you can do. He does barely any damage. Crouch cancel and platforms just kind of ruin him as a whole. So, again, not a very good character. Now, C tier, on the other hand. C tier. This is where things start to get interesting. These are characters who have some character specialists and have had decent results. Especially Ganondorf and Mario, who have been able to rise up and have some results. Now, Game & Watch, you've seen... I think a Game & Watch actually took a set off of Hungrybox. I watched his tier list video of this tier list, and someone actually took a game off of Hungrybox with Game & Watch, which is overall crazy. But considering that the character's unfinished, that's why he's so bad. If they bothered to give him the L cancel he would be at least B tier, I will say. Probably B- behind Doc. Or no, maybe just C+ tier with on level with Mario and Ganondorf. Because he's slower, has a really good wave dash, and I've actually played some Game & Watch. He has some stuff, and he has Judgment as well, which overall already makes him a great character. But again, he's unfinished, his shield is terrible as well, and overall he's just not very good at isolating characters, and once he gets those punishes, without L canceling, he suffers quite a bit. But overall, a decent character and has some stuff. Now, Link and Young Link. These two are really, really close. And I feel like while Link has had some decent results like nowadays, Young Link overall has had more results because of his speed. And he's fast, he's faster, and you've seen people like Armada, Axe even, with their Young Links that have just shown some crazy stuff with projectiles. But the two Links, they're probably the more not as good swordsmen, but they are unique because they have projectiles. And Link just being completely janky and weird, and Young Link with his speed, they're both unpredictable characters. You don't know what you're going to expect, or you'll just get camped for no reason, and you can't approach. Just really annoying, but it's fine. Donkey Kong. A really interesting character, and I feel like he definitely can do good. And honestly, I could put him up in C+, because he's done really well in some situations with his really strong punches, a crazy back air, unique recovery, and overall, he's bulky and probably a better version of Bowser. And if you don't want to play a Captain Falcon or the Ganondorf clone, Donkey Kong is probably the best out of those super duper bulky characters. But Ganon, while he is heavier and slower, he is better. But DK has some stuff. Now, C+ tier. These characters are just short of having some stuff, but they have enough that they are capable of doing well. Mario, again, don't really see the reason to play him while you have Doc, but there are a couple of Marios, like there's a local Mario near me who's really good, and you've seen Scorpion Master Mango, who's just crazy. But again, why wouldn't you just play Doc, who has a better forward smash but with less range, has pills, and a better cape? I just feel like that really limits Mario, as he just has a better version of himself. Same thing with Ganondorf, with Captain, but Ganondorf is a bit unique as he's more tanky and hits like a truck. He is super strong, like ridiculously strong. And it's kind of crazy how strong he is. But again, I think his stomp is like, what, 22 damage? It's crazy. But again, he's slower, has a recovery like Captain Falcon. He's just a slower Captain Falcon. While that is good, he can be exploited really easily. But he does have a lot of winning matchups, which is really good. Like, he kills anybody light really easily, and is crazy good on Yoshi's Story. But again, just short of that level of viability. Now, we get to my interesting argument.